We all have needs, and our needs desperately need to be met, especially by our standards. How they are met, however, is totally and completely not in our hands. And I hope to share with you a beautiful story called The Cat's Chair, written by Rabbi Tzvi Nakar in his book, 102 Stories That Changed People's Lives. And I hope this story is going to enlighten us and show us how our prayers, our needs and desires can get answered in any single which way, and it is all in Hashem's hands. Although it may seem not the standard way, an unexpected way, from the person you least expected from, in the most unexpected circumstance, and yet it's going to find your way. And I hope to leave you with a practical tip at the end. There was a kollel named Kollel Never Aharon in Yerushalayim, and it had dozens of Avrahim. Those are serious Talmidim who studied and toiled in Torah. The kollel was funded by a wealthy American philanthropist who not only supports the Avrahim on a monthly basis, however, every year prior to all the high holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, he gives a large amount of money, an additional $12,000, to all the men who recently got married and have to provide for their families and all the holiday needs and its preparations for these young men who recently got married. And he would do this every year. He added that he would, unable to do this one year. His business wasn't doing great and he wasn't actually making much. His fake name, but all the names in this video are fake, but the story is true. His name is Dr. We're going to call him Dr. Kirsch. And one day he just couldn't afford to fund the $12,000, and he calls the Rosh Kollel and regretfully said that his business that year did not prosper, and he added that he would not be able to support the kollel and the men, and also not give the yearly bonus that he gave before all the high holidays. The Rosh Kollel was deeply disappointed. Of course, he tried to hide it and thanked Dr. Kirsch profusely for all the years he supported them and he funded for the kollel and the men. And of course, the Rosh Kollel related the message to all of Avrahim, all the men, all the Talmidim who are learning. And of course, they were so incredibly disappointed because a lot of them had large families, young families, who really depended on this yearly bonus to provide for their families and make their high holidays special. One late Sunday morning in Los Angeles, Rosh Hashanah fell on a Thursday night. So that Sunday morning, after Shacharis, after his prayers and a weekly halacha shiur, Dr. Kirsch returned home for breakfast. The weather was beautiful, it was glorious, and he spontaneously decided to have his coffee outside the patio. With his newspaper in hand, he stepped outside and jumped when he saw a large white cat sitting in his armchair. He tried to shoo the cat away, flapped his newspapers, but the cat didn't budge. So he quickly tried to call his housekeeper, Maria, and said, "Get this thing out of here. Can you please get rid of this thing?" He pointed distastefully at the animal. And Maria said, "Yes, sir." And she quickly got a big cardboard box, and bowl of milk, and opened a can of tuna and put it right next to the cat. The cat quickly came into the cardboard box, thankfully, and she closed the lid. And she told him, I did it. And he said, "Listen, I want you to get rid of this thing. Take it down the block and leave it there. Someone someone else will figure out what to do with it. And quickly she left it on the corner of the block. Sure enough, he sits down back in his patio, opens the newspaper, and he sees in large print the following sign: Lost cat. Sandra is very precious to her young owners. Please return if found. Reward offered. He looks at the picture next to the sign. Sure enough, it's the cat that he recently saw and asked Maria, his housekeeper, to get rid of. He quickly calls his housekeeper and says, please get me back the cat. If you have it, I hope you didn't let it go. And she said, yes, sir. She quickly brought it back. As she's bringing it back, he's making the phone call to the family. Immediately, after about 2 rings or so, a woman answers the phone call, and she says, yes, can I help you? And he says, I'm the owner of a cat that I believe is in the newspaper. I have it for a little while. I found it, and please pick it up as soon as possible. I'm looking forward to just making sure it's not in my house. And as soon as she heard that, she quickly yelled out her children's names. Jenny, Max, Sandra's found. And it was this screeching voice full of bliss, joy, and gratitude. And they said they're going to be there very soon. Dr. Kirsch gave the address, and they were there within 15 minutes. Soon enough, a luxurious SUV drives up to the driveway, and a beautiful, well-dressed family of 4 comes out, jumps out of the car, and they hug Sandra, fill Sandra with kisses and hugs, and he's just mesmerized how this family, really missed their cat and really needed their cat. And he was so grateful to do that, to do this kindness for them. Even though the family wasn't Jewish, he did a Kiddush Hashem. He did a kindness. And that's what we need to do. We need to spread kindness all around the world. And he was grateful that he did it. Quickly, the owner of the cat, the father of the children, takes out his checkbook and writes a check. And as he's writing the check, Dr. Kirsch says, no, don't worry about it. It's really something it was no trouble at all for me to do. I'm glad to do it. Before he could say any other word, the father drops the check and they thank him and they all drive off. He opens the check and turns it around, and there he sees $12,000. And he's just so mesmerized. He quickly calls the Kollel and says, do not worry, to the Rosh Kollel. I'm going to fund this year as well for the Yamim Tovim. I'm going to be able to fund for all the young men's needs to prepare for the holidays, just like I did. And here we learn many things from this story. As we prepare for any holiday, this time the holiday of Shavuot is coming. As we introspect on a daily basis, we learn a lot of lessons from this story. Number 1, the lesson is, don't rely on other people to do the kindness for you. Jump on the opportunity. Initially, Dr. Kirsch wanted somebody else to do the kindness. He didn't care who would. He didn't know it would be an act of kindness. Yet, it literally landed on his lap, which is another lesson we can learn. If you're meant to do something, it will land on your lap. Take advantage of it. But more important than actually doing it is how we do it. We do an act of kindness. Remember, as we mentioned in our previous videos, a true act of kindness is when you make the person feel like they are doing you the favor. That's a true act of kindness because you are benefiting from it eternally. So jump on the opportunity to do a kindness. Another lesson that we learn is that we have to take into account as we count down to the Omer, and we're celebrating the holiday of Shavuot. You can't just show up for Shavuot. You have to have prepared for it, counting the Omer, um, thinking about the Torah. How can I observe it in a way that I have a close relationship with Hashem? And the way we have a close relationship with Hashem is first having a great relationship with His children, which starts with our families, starts with our immediate families, our husbands, our children, and then the wider family, and then the wider community. We really need to mend our relationships first. There's no way a person can respect Hashem and His laws and His Torah and value it and embrace it and follow the Torah in the way it's meant to, if the person is not making shalom or peace with people in their circle, in their lives. So we have to remember that when we are going through hardships, our natural inclination is to think Hashem is punishing us, or Hashem is too busy to make it work out for us, or God forbid Hashem doesn't love us. And that's not true, right? Dr. Kirsch may have thought, I don't have the $12,000 this year. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm being punished. It didn't really bother him so much, but as much as it would have, affected him directly. However, he was not granted this act of kindness, what he could have done to the Callout, the men of the Callout. However, it's not our job to sit and sulk, because Hashem will never do anything to hurt us. He will never do anything to hurt you. He loves you more than you will ever love yourself. If this situation happened, it's the best thing for me. Everybody in my life, every circumstance in my life is perfect for me to serve Him the way I am meant to. Okay, so Hashem gave me this challenge, this opportunity, in order to reach out to Him, to connect with Him and have a deeper relationship. That is the deeper message of every challenge. Not chas v'shalom, God forbid, that Hashem forgot about us, He's punishing us, He doesn't have time for us, doesn't love us anymore. So these are maybe, instinctive thoughts that we may have. However, the bigger picture is Hashem loves you and only wants what's best for you. Okay. Another lesson is all you have to do in life is want, and Hashem will take care of the outcome. As long as you put your best personal effort, Hashem will do the rest. We need to put our best foot forward. We need to really want to achieve the goals that we want, whether it's shalom in our relationships, whether it's becoming enhanced in our positive character traits, being more patient, less angry, more organized, giving more benefit of the doubt to people. Whatever character trait it is, you can do it. It doesn't matter what family you came from. It doesn't matter what your backdrop is and what your circumstance. You can overcome anything as long as you want. When you want, you're already halfway there, and Hashem is going to help you and enable you to overcome this goal successfully. Another lesson that we learn is that honoring and observing the Torah is not just giving over money. It encompasses the human being in all ways. Even with the way we treat animals and other circumstances in our lives, from menial to big. So the cat, yes, it's a cat, but the way I treat a cat also is reflective of my character. So just because Dr. Hirsch is a well-off man, has a lot of money, doesn't mean it justifies means to its end. Just because this person has a lot of money doesn't mean everything he does is right? It's the way I act with what I have. That defines a person of character and following Torah and its ways. We have to remember, great people do simple things in a big way. Okay. Lesson number 4. The next lesson is salvation can come forth in the least expected time, situation, circumstances, as well as in the least expected way. It does not have to take long. As long as Hashem sees you are ready to receive the salvation, Hashem will give it. Right? Sometimes we may think it will take me so long to have a good relationship with this person, or so long to learn to be patient, or so long to manage my finances well. It doesn't have to. All a person has to do is really try and really want and ask Hashem to help, and Hashem can make it come through any person through the most unexpected circumstance in unexpected ways. And we have to understand that we have a relationship with Hashem because He created us. If He created us, He knows how we function, He knows how we thrive, He knows how we succeed. So why not ask Him to guide us along and give us a more clarified path to follow and to understand. As we celebrate the holiday of Shavuot, Hashem is giving us an opportunity to have a clean slate, to start fresh, to observe the mitzvot in a brand new way, a more connected and deeper way, a more genuine way. And it's all up to you. It's all up to me. It's all about our desire to want. And Hashem will take care of the rest. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.